Hey, JD here. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe. Please hit like. I've got the world's smallest little watch. So my friend Barry sent me this watch again, and it's a ladies' watch. And I told him I hate working on ladies' watches, but he doesn't care. So here I am working on a ladies' watch. But they're small, but not compared to some watches. But this one does need some work. So it's just that people just love to give me ladies' watches. It's got a nice little case on it here, and just snap this open here. And it is department of not running, although I think the balance spring is pretty good. But when I turn this, it just keeps going. So I think it's got a mainspring that's broken, probably. So we're going to strip this watch down really quickly. And I'll likely have to clean this, and I want to have a look at the mainspring because it needs work. So this is a very old watch. It's got a 20-year case, which is nice. It's not a 10-year, 15-year case. This is likely 20 karat gold filled, I think, case. That's what I'm thinking anyway. So, and this watch, if you look at the labeling here, it's a road watch. So these are, they're not super popular like an Elgin, but they are popular enough. And I believe it's a North American made watch. Case got a serial number. The watch has got a serial number. I'll have to look it up. 41405 Road. I wonder if my pocket watch database has got that. It's 15 joules and not a bad piece to work on. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do is remove the hands on this watch. I got some seriously long fingernails today. And the thumbnails have really helped me with watch repair. So even though they look absolutely disgusting, right? I'm trying to get my opener in here. So I've already aligned the hands up to 12 o'clock. And let me get my nice case called Go Bergeron or Go Home. And here we've got the little plastic here to protect the watch. And I've got my hand removers. I'm not sure if these hand removers are too big for this or too small, but I don't have to have them in the middle. I can take them from the side like this, and then up they go. And I've got two hands here, and an hour hand and a minute hand. I just move that aside. And then the seconds hand, I use these very small hand removers for the seconds hand. And sometimes I use the plastic, sometimes I don't, because I sometimes can't get in there deep enough, especially with a little watch like this. But if I'm super, super careful, I'm not going to cause a problem. And because this is so darn small, I may have to come in from the side with a screwdriver. Oh, there we go. Got it. That's tough. That's why I love working on ladies' watches. So that's that. That's done. Now remember, I'm cleaning this watch later on, so I'm not too worried about fingerprints because they're going to be gone anyway. So, and I put my tools away. I take the watch out of the case. What I need to do is pull the crown out first. So you always do that first, pull the crown out, and that takes the stem away from the movement. And then I'll just remove this here. This is a case screw. They've got the half-quarter case screws, so you can turn them part way and then dump the case out. I like taking them out all the way, but I'll try this out for, what do they say, shits and giggles? And I need to, the angles are wrong here, so I need to get less of an angle here, and maybe I'll get a different camera to work with. Alright, we're back in business, and we got a better picture going on here. And I do know that I need to get closer to the watch here, and the angle's kind of poopy because I've got the lid in the way. But I'm just going to see if I can get in here very carefully and turn this case screw out of the way. There we go. And now the thing should just drop right out. There we go. It's dropped out. There's the case, and I've been a good boy, and I've got myself a case of parts holder. So I'm going to put all the parts in there so I don't lose anything. Nothing gets discarded. Now what I do need to do is take off the face of the watch here. So I've got some screws here, as you can see, on the edge. And let's see if I can focus for the screw removal. And what we have here is some screws on the edge to remove the face, and I just need to loosen those screws. I need to get a smaller screwdriver to do that. With a lady's watch, everything is small, so I just take these screws out just a bit, and then I don't want to lose them, so I usually screw them back in, so I don't have the potential of losing the screws. Once again, if you're new to my channel, these fingernails are all about playing guitar, so other guitar players might understand that. They probably need to be trimmed down a bit. If I lose my fingernails, which I do occasionally, I break them for some strange reason, then I usually play my electric for a while without plucking. Now that I've got the dial screws off here, I should be able to just work my way around with the screwdriver here and remove the dial. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it's easy, other times it's a pain in the butt. Hard to say. It depends on the dial. Really depends on the dial. And you think you get the screws loose and then something happens. I think the screws are loose here. They just get caught up and when they come out. And I got to get a bigger screwdriver to wedge in here and separate this so I can. Sometimes I use the fat of my hand to maintain the break here, just like in card magic or gambling. I think I got it now. Do I have it? Yeah, I got it. There we go. And as you can see, there's no dial washer in here. I'm not sure why, but the dial looks like it's in pretty good condition, but there is no dial washer. So I'm going to put the dial back in the case, the storage part case. Now I can take out the hour hand here at the top. See how much oil someone put on there. I think there was a bit. Why do people have to oil things like crazy? Then I grab the minute wheel. Look at all the oil in there. Same situation. Someone got a hold of this watch and said, oh, I think I'll put a shitload of oil in there. I think it's probably, it dirties my watch case is what pisses me off. But anyway, and look at the oil here. Tons of oil here. Like, how does that get in this watch? Somebody's taken this watch and just oiled the crap out of it. And the cannon pinion should lift straight up, which it does. There we go. There's the cannon pinion. And there you just brace yourself, hold it tight, and then just lift it straight up. And of course, it's got a ton of oil in it as well. So I've got to talk to my friend Barry because somebody is oiling the crap out of these, and it's causing me not to use my cleaning machine to clean them. Now, just to show you how much oil there is in this particular watch, I took a piece of watch paper and cut a wedge out of it, and you're going to see how much oil is absorbed here. Look at all that. And the watch paper is getting dirty, absorbing the oil. I'll just put that down in here. And then hopefully the movement doesn't have all this much oil in it, because I don't know. It looks like whoever the watchmaker was that my friend Barry went to, the guy went crazy with oil. So look at all that. Look at the oil, folks. Lots and lots of it. Grab that and put it away. I'm going to take some old Rodico, because everybody should have some old Rodico, and see if I can just absorb some of this oil with the Rodico. It'll pick it up. You can fold it over again and pick up some more oil. And that'll just get rid of the majority of oil that somebody decided to put on this watch movement. And look at that. My pad is now full of oil. I've never had so many oily watches as lately. And it hasn't been from the same person each time. It's the oils are coming from different people, so I'm going to put a piece of watch paper down here so I don't have to deal with it. And I need to put this in a Myers number 58 movement holder so I can go forward and remove other things on this watch that are non-oil. Look at the pivot. Yeah, and we're good for the fourth wheel pivot. And now I can strip this watch down. This is my third hand, the Myers number 58 movement holder. And I'll be grabbing this movement holder and replacing these big pocket watch jobby doohickeys with smaller jobby doohickeys, probably these ones right here, and slide those into place. Is that working? No. Let me see. Yeah. So let me know if you believe if we've landed on the moon or not, because I do have a friend who doesn't believe it, and he's a very smart dude and he's a technical guy, but he doesn't believe it, and I've been trying over the years to convince him that we have. But let me know your opinion. Now I've got the watch mounted up in the Myers number 58 movement holder, and I think I can remove the balance now. And I'm going to get my stick, which is a Bergeron stick that helps me when I remove the balance, and just put some weight, just a bit of weight by the screw, so when I unscrew the screw, the balance decides not to go for a ride. Oh man, that screw is in really tight. I don't understand the watchmakers who decide to heave ho on the parts, but they do. So there. So there's that screw there. I'll throw that in with these parts here. And of course this screw is stuck to the side of my jar because no doubt tons of oil on it. Now to get the balance out, I just have to put the screwdriver. There's a slot in the back here of the balance, and you just put the screwdriver in and twist it. And the balance cock should rise up above where the studs are holding it in. I have to get a different screwdriver this time because it's buried in there nicely. And some schools remove the balance and the balance spring and the balance cock as one piece. I like to remove them as separate pieces. It's just my preference. I'm often worried about the balance getting caught up. And sometimes I actually have to use another pair of tweezers to get the darn thing out. So there you go. That's kind of a stretchy hairspring on this thing too, if you look at that. See how stretchy that hairspring is? And I'm just going to put that on this, temporarily put it on this balance cock for now. And I'm going to ride this up, so I'm going to hold the balance as I spin this up in place, like so. And then just let the balance rest downward. I'm going to hold it as well because I want to move this closer, so they're kind of aligned like that. That's not too bad there. And then there's some safety with that balance sitting there, so that's kind of nice. And I've seen guys, when they take the arm here and they use the this movement holder or balance holder, and they'll just do this and then turn the top part and align that with the arms, and that will drop right down if it's up high enough. So this one I don't think is, but that the arms will drop down through those grooves right there, which might give it further protection. So that's the balance there. I think I do want to raise this up a bit more if I can. I might not be able to. I'm not sure how much real estate I have left in screwing this thing up. I got a bit. And I'll lower that again into the holder. So now the arms are being supported now, as you can see. So that won't move around now because the arms are being supported in the slot. So it's not a bad little holder. It's a lot bigger than I need. And I'm going to get my other holder out in a second and just transfer this to my other holder. And this is what it looks like in case you didn't see it. And there's the watch and the holder here. And let's see if I can get some parts removed. Not sure how this one works, but I think this might be righty, loosey, tighty, whatever it is. So these ones are always interesting because I'm never sure which way I need to turn it. Sometimes it's left is loosening it, and sometimes it's right is loosening it. So let's see which this one is. No, this is conventional. I wish they would mark these, because you can take the head off of it by making a mistake, and you don't want to do that. So it's they should actually mark them for repair, but sometimes the companies don't care, and they just put them together and sell them. And I think I may take this wheel out first before I take the crown wheel out. So this is the ratchet wheel here, and this is always conforming to left is the loosening, lefty-loosey. And this is the crown wheel. I'm just trying to get screws on this crown wheel are super shallow. The screw slots on it, and that's because it's just a tiny little watch. So I beg of you, Barry, please don't send me any more of these small watches. This is like the third or fourth one I've worked on, and I really don't want to work on the small ones. I want to work on the big ones. You heard me. Big watches is what I'm looking for. Like size 18, something that's not going to cause me all kinds of heart problems. So I'm having a fun time trying to get this out of the slot. So I'll use a needle sometimes if it's going to get me in there tighter, like that. And the needle will let me work inside so you don't bend any parts. So there we go. So that's that. And I'm trying to keep the parts together. I'm actually trying not to move the base here too much so you can get a good camera view of all this too as well. So is this going to come out for me, or am I going to have problems here as well? I bet you any money there's a boatload of oil in this one too. Any money. I'm going to have to move it this way a bit so I can try to get under it from this side. I may have to punch it out later because it looks like it's going to get wedged out. And there we go. Look at all the oil. Look at all the oil, guys. Okay, so if you're a watchmaker and you're watching this, stop it. So please stop oiling the crap out of these watches. It's not how to fix a watch by taking WD-40 and putting it all through the watch, because this is just a mess. And this thing here looks like it's in two pieces. Look, this is split. So that is broken. Just to let you know, I didn't break it. Somebody broke this and then just sandwiched it back together again. And the thing with the oil is I got to put all this stuff down on my mat, and the oil's all over the place. So it kind of pisses me off. So that's broken. Not impressed. So I think this might be why Barry gave it to me. He says, "Hey JD, I know you can fix stuff, so how about fixing this?" And this one here, there's a screw in this one here, and I don't think I'm going to remove it. I think I'm going to leave it there because it'll end up causing even more problems. And I'm just trying to absorb some of the oil from this, from the Texaco oil company that last did work on this watch. I just can't believe the amount of oil. Okay, this is just freaking me out. It's freaking me out, Jerry. Alright, so that's out, that's out. And hopefully I don't have pits and pits of oil in here too. So this is supposed to be an easy one to fix. I wanted an easy one. I keep getting the good ones. The screwdriver is not going to work for this. Let me see if this one's too small or too big. That one's too big. I need a, probably red would work. I'm having to really torque on these things too. And then what I don't want to do is damage the head of the screw. These ones are in so friggin' tight. Oh my God. Let me check this one here and see if somebody turned it with... I want to drop F-bombs here because I'm really pissed at the last watchmaker who oiled the shit out of this and then turned the screws like they're nobody's business. Alright, so the screws are done, and I'll bet you any money when I lift this it's going to be another giant pile of oil. I'm putting this all down on watch paper on the side so I don't ruin my mat. And I can lift this up now and see what kind of mess I got under here. I just noticed the dial washer screws need to be put back in too. This won't even lift, it's so stuck. Wow, unbelievable. So I'm going to have to rotate this a little bit to get access to the plate on the side here. And there's usually a groove here. There it is there. And I should be able to rotate this and lift it up with the groove. I can't believe this watch is actually jammed in place. It's stuck in place. Yeah, this is a good one. Thank you, my friend. I always get the hard ones, that's for sure. And this is not going to be an easy one. Just getting the plate off is becoming a real problem, because the watch is, if you could look at the crack there, there should be no reason this plate can't come off. There's nothing holding it on. These screws here on the side are the case screws, which should come right out. I apologize if I'm out of camera here for a second. Just throw those in the middle, and another case screw on the other side here that I'll just take this out while I'm here. Now this is a size 6 watch, I think. I don't think it's a 0. I think it's a 6, which is still a lady's watch. Or a really small guy. So let's see if I can wedge my screwdriver in here now with any success. Alright, there we go. Stuff is stuck in there. We lift this up, and there it is, and it's probably got tons of oil in it. Yeah, there we go. You can see that. Oil central. Somebody just put oil, just squirted the damn thing with oil. I can't remember, Barry, if you sent me the last watch that was full of oil. But you're going to ruin my mat. There it is there. So that's part of it apart, so I can take some of the wheels out here. So I'll take the center wheel out and put that aside. I just need to put that in my watch parts case here. My hip's a little sore today working on this stuff. And I'm a little pissed off at all the oil, by the way. For obvious reasons, it shouldn't have this much oil on it. Try to very carefully take the gear out here, and then the other stuff I can't take out until later. I'm going to take a picture of this, but I may have to disassemble all that because of the amount of oil. So let me look and see if I can remove this plate here without having to super exert myself. Oh man. Maybe this is the first time it's ever been repaired, and the guy that repaired it just dunked the whole damn thing in oil. What do you think? I'll take all comments on this incredibly oiled watch. Oils well and ends well. I know that plate's not just going to come out easy. Let's see what happens here. So I got oil on my fingers now. See, I can't put that in my watch cleaning machine because it's going to cause problems. So that did come out, and I need to lift it from the side too here. There we go. And then straight up, hopefully. And we'll see how many parts are stuck to it. There we go. See that? The hour wheel is stuck to it. So I want to just carefully remove the hour wheel and put the plate down and put the hour wheel, sorry, but the hairy arm over here. And now I'll remove the escapement. I can just take that mainspring, which we have to look at later. And you see all the oil on the top? I might be able to clean some of that out. And the last thing I need to do is remove the pallet fork. Let me tighten that up again, and I'm just going to see how hard this is to turn. That wasn't too bad, but I'm going to get my stick out here to support the cock for the pallet fork. And it's called a cock for a pallet fork because it's not a bridge, because it only has one screw and it goes over the side, so it's called a cock. I wish they would have picked a better name. It's those British, I think. It's the Brits. Now I'm going to see if I can just get a screwdriver in here to raise this up. I'm trying to stay away from the pallet fork as I'm doing this here. Looks like a very odd configuration, by the way. So there we go, and I should be able to lift that straight up like that, and then I'll put that in the watch case, and then this pallet fork needs to go straight up. And there we go, pallet fork is straight up. There we go. And so nothing else down here. It's funny, it's got the down here where the jewel is, the screws are on the inside. That is odd. Now I'm going to take a picture of all this nonsense because it looks like it's interesting. I may wash it with the whole thing in here and then take it out after and oil it because it looks so gummed up. Even this wheel here looks worn. I don't know. Yeah, I think I may throw the whole damn thing into the wash machine for this one here. But before I wash it, I'm just turning some of these screws to make sure they're not super loose. Because some of these screws were loose. They were probably loose from all the oil on them. So let me just take this and tap it through here and get some of the oil off this movement, which is full of oil. I don't know what's lately I'm attracting watches that are oiled. Like, people bring these to hack watchmakers that just say, well, I can make it run more smoothly, I'll just put more oil on it. I'm just staying away from the banking pins here because they're critical to the operation of the watch. And I'm going to throw this whole thing in my watch cleaning machine. And I think I will use my watch cleaning machine, but before I do that, I'm going to take each one of these parts and take some Rodico and clean the crap out of them with Rodico to pick up whatever oil I might have here. And see that? If you look at that, the amount of oil there, that's a ton. And it doesn't look like it's watch oil. It looks like someone just took oil and threw it in. So I was talking to some clockmakers the other day, and they said that people that used to take a spray bottle of WD-40 and just spray the clock, open it up, spray the shit out of it, and then say, okay, I think it should work for a while longer. So let me take these parts and try to get them organized in my parts bin here, and I'll be back in a sec. All right, there's the watch in the parts bin right now, and I'm going to take the mainspring spring out, and let's see what that looks like. So I flipped to the other camera here for this part here, but this is the mainspring here, and so I want to take that spring out, and there's a little tab here that you can use to snap the cover up, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to take some of this paper here because I'm again worried about the world of oil here, because it seems like whoever had this watch before owned shares in Texaco or Texaco. So the lid came out nicely. So this was slipping, so it wasn't winding. I'm not sure why it's slipping because it looks like there's a full spring in there. So let's grab onto this and see what happens. All right, there's the mainspring, and I've got a vise on the back end of this, or pin vise. And as I turn the arbor on the mainspring, you'll see what's happening here. Grab the arbor, and look at that. There's a piece of mainspring sliding on the inside. So this mainspring is completely broken, needs to be measured and purchased again. So, and there's the device I used to grab the mainspring. So that looks pretty good. And I grab the arbor like that, allows me to turn that mainspring without a problem. There, I'm a new character from Game of Thrones called Long Nails. Like I said to you before, I play guitar, and that's why my nails are long. I do need to trim them a bit though. So I'm just throwing some of these parts in the bin. This piece of spring obviously broken, don't need it anymore, but I will throw it into the bin. I'll use the other piece to measure I want to be able to measure the spring. So I want to get this out somehow. So what I do is I just need to reach in here somehow and grab the edge of that. It's tough when they're broken like this to find the right edge and then see if you can get it out without hurting somebody. So I need a very small screwdriver to wedge on the inside and then work this out somehow. I just work the whole damn thing out. Looks like the whole thing wants to come out at once. I'd rather just walk out a part of it than have the whole thing come out. It's a little safer, I think. And here is where my very cool long fingernails come into play. And now I can just, those thumbnails can go under there and I can walk this thing out. If I didn't have long thumbnails, I likely wouldn't be able to do this. So I will trim these down for the weekend because they are disgustingly long, and my wife will tell me, hey, what's with the long thumbnails? So, but you can see how useful they are. So this is a good grip. I like these type springs. It's not going to be that difficult, and there should be a little tiny bit of a hook on the inside. Well, there is right there. You can see where the gap is, and that fits in the gap. One thing I didn't do is determine which way that was going, but I think it was going that way, so it's no problem. It went like that, and now I've got to measure that to order a new spring, but let's take a picture of that first. So I'm going to take the spring and put it in with my parts, with the barrel going in first, and the barrel doesn't look like it has the same amount of oil the rest of the watch had on it. And the spring goes in there too, and I'll show you what I got. There is the watch, the complete pocket watch, all disassembled, and I'll order that new spring and likely go to cousinsuk.com because I'll be able to measure the spring. I want to measure the width of the spring, the thickness of the spring, that's its strength, the width of the spring so it fits in the barrel correctly, and I'll estimate the length of that spring as well. It's probably around 340, I'm thinking. And you can estimate the length of the barrel based on the length of the spring based on the size of the barrel. So that's it for today, and I'll put this video up and you guys can comment on all the oil. Oh my god.